Audio. Your lot's audio. You lovely people. All about the red caps. You should be at Heroes now. You don't remember what happened last week. Need that recap. Well, I was hoping you lot could tell me. Welcome to Heavyweight Gaming. Another day, another vest. I do apologise. You lot, some places in the country might have cooled down, but it is super fucking hot in my house, alright? So you're going to have to deal with it a bit longer. I've even shaved my head for you. So, we are playing Dungeons & Dragons 5e tonight. It is session 10, double figures, kids, of our Fables Among Titans campaign, where this bunch of lovely fools are rocking around in Ravenholm, in the homebrew world of Colossus. That's myself, Mr. Robert, Arcane, Eddie, who we don't see anymore. We started creating a world, started writing about it, started playing games in it, and now we stream it, because why not? So, I'll go through some basic stuff that we normally go through. If you want to follow us on social media, you can essentially go to Twitter and Twitch, as you're already here, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, type in Heavyweight Gaming, you'll probably find us. Give us a follow, subscribe, whatever variety of follow this person that particular platform has, and you'll get to see us doing lots of stuff. F's in chat for Eddie. Yes, yes. Oh, you're loving it. I'm loving this. The more F's you get, I'll do a giveaway. I'll give you AJ. So that's our social media stuff.
You do not have that authority.
Stop me, little man. Stop me.
Oh boy.
You've got hair to pull. I'm just saying. Where did I get? Social media. So that's where you find us on social media. The lovely sponsors of our Dungeons & Dragons show is Ruffworx Creative, who is a very talented level worker and woodworker. If you go to Facebook and type in Ruffworx Creative, as seen on the screen with an X, not a K, you'll find his page, go to his photo albums, and you will see just raw talent, like incarnate. It is beautiful stuff, and we're very honoured to have him sponsoring the show, and he sponsored us since the very first session we did and started getting the channel going and stuff, so thank you very much for keep sponsoring us. Our other sponsor is Ashana. She is among World of Warcraft streaming and such. She streams Glasscraft, where she makes little figurines out of glass. It's incredible. I fell in love with it the first time I seen her do it, and we had a little conversation. She now sponsors the show and will be sending us, hopefully once the world has calmed down a little bit, some little dice protectors, where it's a little dragon figurine to protect your D20s and forever stop them getting that ones. It's no guarantee, of course. Read the fine print. So that's their sponsors, that's social media. Last week we were a bit quiet. Myself mainly had a bit of family time. Our lass essentially stared at me, and I understood that she needed to, knew that I still loved her. So I told her I still loved her and stopped playing computer games and tabletop games. But she's happy for another 6 months, so you've got me for another 6 months. So after that, we missed Wednesday. Last Wednesday was our Vampire Part 2. That will be on tomorrow. So note, that will be on tomorrow. The wonderful Jade will be the storyteller for tomorrow for Part 2 with her lovely fledglings of vampires, and we'll see what they do in Part 2. There is lots of other stuff that goes on. You can see our schedule on our social media and Facebook and etc. We stream 5 out of 7 nights. The only nights we don't stream are Mondays and Fridays. So if you're free from 8 o'clock onwards and you fancy some geekery, jump on, have a watch. There'll be somebody telling a story about Summit with dice involved. That's all you need to know. And it's a good story. The dice are not so good, but the story's good. So, let's get on with this. As you can see, Kate, who plays Griff, is not with us again. She's poorly, bless her. So we're going to essentially... Griff will be staying out of the way for a little bit until Kate returns, and that way I don't have to write her a 10-page brief of what Griff's been doing. She can just come back and crack on. So we'll go around the players, we'll do a recap, and then we'll get into it. Playing Kesvion, the Fae Fighter, we have Luke. Playing Daelfin, the Elven Blade Singer, we have AJ. Playing... how have I done this? Aristotle, the... human swashbuckler, we have Mel, who is dressed up. I don't know if she'll stand up and spin, but she's made a lovely jacket for Harry. Nope, we're having a spin. She's spinning, there you go. Yeah. Pyjama pants are part of it.
Pyjama pants are part of it, yeah, of course.
And we have playing Zandria, the fear of death and destruction, with a summer twinge, we have Jade. So, it is indeed, Elmer, it is indeed awesome. So, thank you very much for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the next 17 hours. So, last week you were in the Feywilds of the Forest of Copper. There are several forests of the Fey throughout Colossus, and you were in this particular one. The Forest of Copper is, I say owned, run, led by, the highest point of authority in there is the Jezerit. They asked you to deal with the incursions. Thank you very much for the follow. Have a go, heroes. They asked you to deal with the incursions into the forest that were hidden from them and theirs. The children of Autumn, so the Fae of Autumn, could not see anything incursion entering the forest without their permission. So they sent requests to Kesvion and Xandria Summerbreeze, being children of Summer, because they were able to go under the radar, as it were. Whilst this was happening, a fight ensued. Their lovely selves and Kalain managed to get rid of 2 incursions that happened. Kalain asked them to deliver an acorn to a dying but not dead oak to get out of the forest. You shake your heads, Andrea. To get them out of the forest so they could go check out amongst the humans in the material realm what's actually going on with them coming into the forest, what they're after, what they're trying to get hold of, what's the plan. They want to know more information. A long time ago, it was let out that humans of Ravenholm and the Fae of the Forest of Copper didn't get along very well. So yes, they're looking into that. They found they never got the name of the tavern, but I can tell you now it was called the Can You See Me Tavern. And
wonderful name.
It was beautiful. It wasn't the Old Oak, which it nearly got retconned too. So, you entered the tavern, you found the old, dying but not dead oak, which just happened to be a satire form, who had a lovely conversation with Kesvion, took the acorn and gave them the way out of the forest. They came out of the forest into a very, very rainy evening, where they set up camp against whatever they could to try and shelter themselves against the rain and the wind. Piss wet through, they managed to get a long rest and wake up in the cloudy morning of somewhere in the country of Ravenholm. What they did see was to the west, I guess a couple of days' travel, was one of the guard towers, patrol towers. There's several of them spread out throughout the country. Because the roads are so dangerous, with the Forest of the Fae being so close to the paths. And further east and a trek north, but a few more days, was a population, a town that they didn't recognise. Ari, being of Ravenholm, didn't recognise the area they were in. They've decided to go east to the guard tower, and they will pretty much, or at least Harry will, as soon as they see the uniform of the guards, get a very good understanding of the province of Ravenholm they are in. Obviously. So it is the morning. The rain has gone. Your breakfast is terrible and miserable. You eat and you prepare yourselves to head east, west even, to the guard tower. 3, 2, 1, you're in. If you want a morning chat, otherwise I'll just
I was going to say, I imagine Xandria is just very quietly just eating her breakfast. Not being a social butterfly, as usual.
I think Kess is trying to make some very light small talk. Clearly these people are for some reason completely unknown to him, willing to help, and don't look a gift horse if it seems like it wants to assist. So he'll be kind of sort of helping folk put stuff away and generally trying to seem amenable, seeing as these people are kind of getting involved in their troubles.
Okay, cool. Delphin, Ari.
Much of Delphin stuff's going to just be eating, trying to join a little bit of sort of minor small talk with Kesvion, but very much as he's been from the start. His bag's already packed, and were there a chance, it looks like he's got a bug out bag effectively ready, just in case something goes horribly wrong.
Harry's kind of probably trying to look around and see where they are, even though he knows it's kind of impossible until they kind of get closer. He's probably like just trying to check kind of where they are, because he knows where they kind of should be. They should be sort of north, but then he's like, I don't know whether this is, I've not been here before, so I don't know. So we'll find out.
Before you carry on, I'm going to interject for Dwarf Warrior. So I've had to do a clean-up of the laptop, Mr. Dwarf Warrior, and the Hovis theme tune will need to be re-uploaded to the stream. And you can't just throw it in there, alright, man? You've got to pick your moments, pal, alright? But I've made a note, I'll get it sorted. So you have your breakfast, you are doing what you're doing. Delphin, what you notice, while people, and the small talk's going on, and a bit of breakfast is going on and such like this, sat opposite you, on a log that isn't there, is yourself. A very transparent version of yourself, and not mimicking you exactly, but that person is eating breakfast, eating rations. They look tired. Their hair is long. It isn't cut like yours, but it is definitely you. But it's hung down. There's no top knot or anything like this. They look like they've been out in the wilds for a long time. Their clothes are of a similar style to yours, still wearing the colours of the clan, but more tattered and ripped. And they just look worn and tired. And they have a katana at their side, sheathed, but it's at their side. Not belted, it's just as if you carry the sheath around with you. And they're just eating a breakfast of rations and dried fruits and such. And they are, well, alone, as you are used to seeing yourself.
Under my breath, I'm just going to go, oh, it's good to know that this isn't the worst I could be.
At that, the image looks up and looks around as if reacting to sound, and then fades away as they get up and walk away from you, and as they walk away from you, they fade away into nothingness.
Finish my breakfast and just put my bag on.
Cool. So, there is, I can hear somebody. I can hear a TV or something.
That would be my fault. Please stand by.
Alright, cool.
The headset comes off.
And the yelling begins.
Turn that goddamn... Sorry, carry on, Caspian.
So yeah, Kess will basically just be getting ready to up and at 'em, guys. Come on, we've got kind of seeing that everyone's a little bit low energy, just trying to be like, come on. But he is not a particularly high energy person himself, so he's doing his best, but it's almost a little bit painful, like trying to watch. So whether you take pity on him or not is your own choice.
Harry will kind of take pity on him a little bit and just kind of be chatting more with him and be like, yeah, you know, to be fair, he's quite happy with the fact that he's out the Feywilds now. So he's not in the Feywild, doesn't know where the hell he is, but he's not in the Feywilds.
So as you start packing up breakfast, the very large raven you saw before is nowhere to be seen this morning, and you start heading west. You know to follow the path, as you've been told countless times by people you bumped into. Ari, you're very aware that the path is the safest place to be. That doesn't mean it's safe, it's just the safest. Immediately to your right, so towards the north, is where the banking drops to an almost cliff style of terrain and drops into this big estuary, and you start heading west. You are aware that you'll probably have to do another night out on the road before you get to the guard tower, but you start trudging. There is a very, very light rain that is just constantly with you through the day, but not storm. The birds are quite noisy, you can hear the birds tweeting about, but the rain is just very light and very pitter-pat. It's annoying, essentially. And you walk through the day. Unless you are going to have massive, deep, meaningful conversations, the day will pass. You'll stop. Yes, Andrew's like, you are. Not in my thesaurus. You stop middle of the day again to eat some of the rations that you opened up for breakfast that morning. It's very filling. You look at the almond and dried strawberry, and you move on with your lives. The evening, it's the first time you felt for a while that you can judge time again. Being in the wilds and the whole dimmer switch effect of night and day kind of threw you off a little bit. You didn't know whether you were wide awake or very tired. But out here, fresh air in your face, real air in your face. Xandria, of the four of you, you deal with this perfectly. Kess, you deal with it almost perfectly. Dale, Finn, less so. Ari, you're loving how you almost want to touch everything, just to remind yourself. Yeah, just touch the leaves, not the trees, not the trees. And you, so you make it through the day. Evening starts coming upon you slowly this time at a normal rate of passing of hours, and it is time to camp out for the evening. The rain is still soft and light, but still falling. There is not a lot going on, it seems. It's been quite a quiet trek through the day. Conversations have been small and short. You are ready for the evening's camp. As you start to set up camp, and it is time to roll your heads over and sleep or meditate. Who will be doing what? Are you putting a watch on? Are you not putting a watch on?
Oh yeah, there's a watch.
A watch on.
What fool doesn't put a watch on?
When we're this close.
Harry's asleep.
Harry's gone.
Yeah. So, can I have your watch order, please?
I will take first.
Are you doing it in singles?
We'll pair up. I will also take first.
So, Kess and Xandria. And
I'll
Harry-
take second.
Alone or with Harry?
Harry will take some. I don't know. Depends
There
on
you go.
what.
And Harry and Dale. So, Kess and Xandria, Cathion and Drea, you sort yourselves out, bedrolls are down, you're off the road but not in the forest. You just pick slightly off the road to, again, you're used to these little lay-bys throughout long travelling areas that have been deliberately made to give people a place to sleep off the road. You set up the camp, you're ready. Harry gets his head down, Dale thing goes into his meditative dream state, yay elves, and you two are on watch. About 2 hours into your watch, you can hear the approaching of horses. It's not stealth-like, there's no need to perceive it. You can clearly hear the approaching of horses, as in coming from the west towards you. They're not catching up with you.
Okay.
It's night time. It is close to midnight, I'd say. Going on how you guys can rest for 4 hours. Some of you need 8. So it's about midnight, and these two horses are coming towards you. Yeah, let me find it. Din, 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 din. Where's the death stats? No. So they come towards you. Sat atop of the two horses, there is 2 figures riding them with cloaks pulled close, pulled down as best they can over the heads to try and protect them from the rain. There is a large pole like staff object on the back of one of them. You can see it poking up behind their shoulders. Even in this nightlight, they've got a lantern on a pole that's in the saddle of one of the horses that kind of just hangs over them and ahead of them to almost light the path before them for the horses. And the other one has got a bow and quiver on their back. Both of you give me perception checks.
On it.
I get to use my lovely new dice cup. My lovely new dice tray.
16.
Ooh, 21.
Alright. Woo, 21!
21!
It's like you'd won the bingo, lads.
Bingo!
You notice that the skin beneath the hoods and where you see their hands holding the reins and stuff is a almost ruby red scale. Their skin is of scales and has a ruby red sheen to it that just as the lantern that's on the almost road torch for them is swinging on the odd bump. You just see the light swing past and you see these ruby scales of these two humanoids on horseback. They're about 50 feet, 40 feet away from the camp. They've clearly seen your camp. I assume you've got a fire or had a fire going at some point, and they're just pottering along the road. So they're 40 feet away. Do you wish to do anything or interact or holler, shout, hide, shoot, rebuke hellishly?
Nope.
Cool.
Like, Kess will probably stand and stretch just so that in case anything, like, does happen, he's not, like, sat cross-legged on the floor and trying to, like, scramble up.
Shit, I'm gonna die. I'm
With,
gonna
like,
die.
one dead leg, like...
I've got pins and needles.
Stamping a foot to try and get it back to life. So, but, like, probably they'll be used to folk passing on the roads
Yep.
previously, but it's just kind of I would imagine they like to both be reclined if they can help it.
Cool. The horses, they're not like galloping down the way. They're just cordial jaunting, and they come past the camp. They sort of turn to see the two of you asleep and the two of you clearly awake. They just both nod, and they just keep going past. They don't stop. They just keep going.
When they get closer, do we get any sort of further, or like I'll look at them, or is...
Features wise, you probably will see the bottom, their lower jaw, which is scaled. Again, it's got a ruby shine, to a ruby red shine to the scales. It's kind of squared off. It is similar to the Legatus that you saw in Ebendorf, where they have a squared jaw for the Dragonborn and a more rounded jaw for the Lizard folk.
Yeah.
So they
There's
appear
no
to be
insignia or anything.
they are completely outdoorsy from their neutral outdoorsy attire. There is
cool.
no banner flying or anything like this. But they look more like Dragonborn from that immediate lower jaw than they do Lizard folk.
Cool.
And you just let them pass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Kind of give a nod back and...
Cool, they just carry on the horses. There's my horse sound effect for you.
Beautiful.
It was glorious.
All day I've been practicing that. All day. In front of the mirror for some reason. So they go past. Your time passes. That sounds ominous. It is time to pass on to Ari and Dale then.
Cool.
You two lovely folk are woken up or awake up naturally. It's up to yourselves. But you swap over. Do you inform them of the two?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I imagine we would definitely inform them just to be on the safe side in case they come back.
Cool.
All right. well, if we're up and about, I'm gonna basically add in a perimeter check every so often, just to whatever it is we're doing.
Cool. So you swap places essentially, and now you are out on the road, or near the road, doing your watch. You hear in the distance rumblings. You're not shocked. It seems there are storms and rains quite often in this lovely country. It's late into the night now. It's early hours, and it is dark. The moon can't be seen. The clouds have taken the moon. It's not obviously pitch black, but it is very dark out on this road. You hear quite clearly movement among the undergrowth not far from where you set up your little camp. You can hear it, but you can't see it. So if you would both like to give me perception checks.
Ooh. 17.
17.
Yep.
14.
Cool. So, Harry, you hear it, but you can't see what's making the noise. Delphin, you notice two small creatures, very similar to squirrels, but what you see from them is they look like they are made from stone, like they are little animated stone squirrels. Is the best description I can give you. And they are acting like squirrels. They are pottering around. And they seem to be gathering whatever is in the undergrowth, and they just sort of nip out, nip back in. But yeah, just a couple of stone squirrels. Not stoned, sawdust, stone.
It's my deadly trained squirrels.
Better that than them being made of teeth.
Would it have been Ari that would have noticed that as a higher perception check?
It would. It would.
I was wondering, that's a bad
I
sign.
just presumed it was something to do with low light and elves.
No. It was the DM
I
being a giver.
presumed you meant that.
It's the DM losing his marbles. It's okay.
Yes. So yeah, Harry, you saw that, not Delphin.
Okay.
Any reaction? Fireball.
Would he recognise that as... I'll probably have to roll for this, but would he recognise it as like a construct of some description?
You have never heard of or seen a squirrel made of stone. No stories, no tavern talk.
In which case he might kind of try and get a little bit closer and see like if you can see it any better. Be like, what's this?
As soon as you approach, they just disappear into the undergrowth, as you'd expect squirrels to do.
Joys.
Delphin, you can see
What
Harry.
are you doing over there, Harry?
It's like stone squirrels. They look really weird. They've just gone away now though, so I wanted to have a look and they ran off.
Stone squirrels
Yeah,
that moved.
yeah.
How much sleep have you had?
Not enough.
It's starting to show.
Thanks.
I will fire off a detect magic just to humour.
Harry's sword and dagger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, but whatever else the rest of you have got, which I don't think's anything as of yet. But other than that, other than whatever you lot are carrying, nothing.
I'll just make a big point of going, wait. I found a bronze mongoose. It's somewhere over there.
Shut up.
I'm not good at taking the... never mind. I'm going to go and sit myself up against a tree. This banter thing's too much for me.
You go and sit against the tree. Cool. Give me
Initiative. No,
give me a Constitution saving throw.
I'm glad that's you and not me.
19.
Cool. You doing anything else?
Nope, just staying awake and keeping an eye out. Did I feel anything from that Constitution saving throw?
You did not. Nothing at all.
Okay.
Oh god.
You doing all right? Are you still chasing the squirrels?
I feel like he's kind of checking the bushes around the camp. Like, any more? Anything else?
Give me
Anything
an investigation check.
Oh god, not my strong suit.
Investigation's intelligence. You've got some of that.
A +1. 13.
Cool. You find some broken bits of small branch and stuff where something of the size of a squirrel might have pushed through the undergrowth, and some little rock poo, but you don't find any squirrels.
He's more just curious of like, what the hell did I actually see it? Like, now he's proper down himself. Like, did I actually see this? Like, is Delphine right? And I'm just not got enough sleep. Am I still in the Feywilds? Oh my god.
Oh my god. Pinch me. So, the evening passes, assuming Harry gives up chasing the squirrels. You all awake with a long rest, happened again. And you are a few hours away from the guard tower. As you get close, now you are about 6 hours trek from the guard tower. Oh jeez. All of you give me perception checks.
15.
Nat 1.
Jeez.
9.
So
7.
anyone 15 and above. You can see, so the guard tower, patrol tower, is not among the trees or anything. It is on the other side of the road to the forest, to keep it well away and to give themselves a distance between them and it. But from here, like I say, you're about 6 hours away, and you can see the tall tower in the distance. What you notice, Keshfion, is every now and then there's a slight flapping of colour that is way in the distance. It seems to be white with a dot of red. It's far away, but you get, there is some sort of flaggage or bannerage. There you go, 2 brand new words for you. That is white with a dot of red, but details no chance from this distance. And the rain and wind picks up. There we go.
He'll recount that to the group.
Harry, you recognise the colour of white and red, not a dot, but the colour of white with red on it, as the banner of the House of the Red Lady. There's a good chance you are in their province.
Do you share that with the class?
Yeah. I'm just writing it down. Just making my notes. Yeah, he's like, yeah, sounds like the Red Lady. It's kind of where I thought we would be, actually, which is good. But good, bad. Everyone that was in the Feywilds was had their banner on, so don't know.
Admittedly, I'm not sure. I wasn't expecting to find them quite so fast. Okay.
Yes.
And he just kind of keeps walking, just like, right, shit, now we need a plan.
This does mean that hopefully we can finish our task quickly.
Have we worked out what the first stage of that is yet?
No.
I mean,
Are you guys walking and talking?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Just down sticks, like, nope.
Nobody move.
Done.
So as you were
My
walking
first-
along, go on, Harry.
My first question would be, why are they going in the Feywilds? Because everyone knows around here that that's done.
The rain picks up.
Well, you said that this place was basically one of the head areas for necromancy and the like, right? Something like the Feywild's usually diametrically opposed. It's a place of mass amounts of life. Maybe it's just a territory grab.
I mean, there was definitely enough undead around to confirm that it's the Red Lady that's been sending them in, if not their banners. He pulls out his sword that's still got the banner on it. It's like, yeah, it's still there. Puts it back in. And it's just like, yeah, it's a bit weird that she'd be kind of the one that would end up like breaching the forest as such, because I mean they must have some way of getting around it, but it just seems really strange.
Does she have any reputation for going and doing overzealous things, invading places, anything like that? Does she have previous, basically?
Does she, AD?
So the red lady to you, Harry, is one of the pantheon. They are a deity. They are not a person that rules the province. It's just that the province completely encompasses the Red Lady's persona, which is very much a mortality, however, by any means necessary. They oppose the Grey Wolf deity. They are very, very against one another. Unlife is not necessarily their thing. It's not part of their domains or dogma. It is just a mortality. Live forever. It just so happens that the province of the Red Lady has chosen necromancy as a tool to achieve this. They claim, there is a claim that the House of the Red Lady, that the ruling family within the province is the same family that stood with King Reinhardt when the Empire was at its most powerful, which was a long time ago. But all the houses claim that they've got pure nobility. But the Red Lady, the family that rule the province, are very, very, of which you don't know who the family is, because the province gets referred to as the province of the house, the province of the Red Lady quite a lot. But that family, whoever they may be, always gets mentioned when claims of nobility and how strong their lineage back to the good old days was.
Yeah, so the Red Lady is more of a kind of deity, like all of their magic users tend to sort of go towards her as their deity.
Yeah.
And the necromancy is just a tool to get that. You know, they want immortality, so maybe that's why they've been kind of doing that, because obviously I don't know, like immortality perhaps, another means to an end.
But it's not unusual for that province to go and do rash things or go and do stuff that, as you say, by any means necessary. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, we have motive.
You lot are sodden once again.
Starter.
You've walked for about an hour. You're 5 hours away.
Is there any way of finding a bit more cover, given the fact that it is raining so hard? Like further into the woods, or
You could either go further into the woods, from what you see, further into the woods, or where it drops to a cliff, where the bank drops and drops down to the estuary. It'd be off the path and you'd have to walk for about half an hour, but you could essentially find somewhere maybe amongst the cliffs to just take a bit of shelter and the rocky terrain above.
I'll make that suggestion just on the grounds of if we are going to get into any sort of situation, the last thing we want is our death of cold to go along with it.
I mean,
So,
I'd rather not leave the path. Got a cloak.
I imagine that the siblings are not particularly enjoying the cold.
Mm-mm.
They're not vibing that in the slightest. The wet they can deal with sometimes better than others, but the cold is not their jam.
Nope, cold and wet. Mm-mm.
So do you
Not what us desert folk like.
do you or do you not go looking for shelter in the cliffs or trees?
I will default to the twins' decision. They're technically in charge.
Now he's like, off the path again? No!
Whilst seeking shelter sounds like a wonderful idea, and trust me, I would like nothing more than to get out of the rain for a bit. I do believe that Ari said diverging from the path is not a wise decision.
Alright.
True, John? Cool.
Sandra agree with Ari.
Make note, 30th of the 6th, 2051, alright? 3 years from now, we'll look back and that'll be the only time.
Just a time, no reference, just a time and dates. Just, what was that?
Give me a shot, love. No? Alright, I should pull the gun. Alright, that's not what I expected. So you you trudge on for the next 5 hours. Again, small talk only unless you require more time. Okay.
I think Kess will start trying to pick folks' brains as to how they think they could find out how it is that they're getting through the barrier without.
Okay, so in aid to that, for Ari's knowledge, these patrol towers, they're towers so they can see far, but they are essentially a small, almost hamlet sized area where there is several bunkhouses, somewhere for people to get food and drink, because sometimes the people that are stationed there, they're not always soldiers or ranger types, hunter types, etc. Some of them are just normal civilians that work for the province and that particular area, because they could be there a month before they are relieved and a different set of people come in. So it's not a case of they block the road. You can walk straight past the tower.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant. It's more how
How are we going to find out how they're getting into the Fables?
yeah,
How the
okay,
Red Lady
okay.
is getting
Okay.
Thank you for making my.
You're
my-
welcome. I knew what you
That
meant.
sibling energy, I see.
Well, that's all you need then, Harry. You may crack on.
But essentially, we may not get a huge amount of information out of these guys because we're just making sure the road's safe.
I believe you were heading this way just to discover where you were.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah,
you
at
had
this point,
other
does it
plans.
literally just go off to the sea? Because we're at an estuary.
So if you keep walking, it's followed the estuary. The land will eventually, you see it curve away southwest. So it does keep going. You can imagine that if you follow the estuary long enough, it will get to the sea. But from where you are right now, there's no sign of the sea.
Okay, I wasn't sure if we were just like literally walking to dead end and be like, yeah, no, that's
That's water.
water. Big
Yeah.
water, big
The
water.
big blue.
Hey, turn around.
Level 4.
Okay.
like, if they can see the kind of patrol tower, Ari will kind of be like, there's probably not a huge amount we can get out of the people at the patrol tower. They're not really in charge as such. They're just there to make sure the road's safe.
I don't know. I figure it's just something that's good to start thinking about, because presumably it's some kind of magic thing, and I know kind of sweet fuck all about that. I know, Delphin, you have some kind of magical knowledge, but it seems it might be a different, well, not might be different, like you haven't, I don't think you specialise in any way in the same magics.
I don't specialise in raising the dead, no. If you think trying to work out basically a decent place to start, it's going to be with whoever has the most to gain out of entering the Feywild. The person who's probably doing it is either someone who is in charge or someone who's trying to impress someone who's in charge. So military commanders, wizards, high-ranking ones, heads of colleges, people of learning. We already established there was some sort of castle, or at least a heavily bricked tunnel that thing went back into. And it's clearly got a level of magic that's comparable to a lot higher than mine. I'd probably recommend trying to find somewhere of a decent military standing first, because it sounded like there were a lot of guards that were taking up point to secure that place. That'd be the first place I would go look, and from there fan out and find others.
If we're going up to this patrol tower, though, I might need to like change, because they might recognise my sash. And I'd rather they didn't right now.
The one that you, I suppose they'd probably wonder how you got a hold of it. The one that you got off.
No, not the white one, the gold one that I wear.
And is it not just a sash?
You saw how the white one, like the ones that work for the Red Lady, wore their sashes. I wear my sash the same way. It belongs to another house.
Oh, I just thought it was. I thought you just like being fancy, and that's why it was gold.
It's the colour of my ancestral house, so yeah, they'd probably recognise that. I think I might stash that away.
No, your ancestral house, not like the one you work for.
You know, I said I'm from Ravenholm.
Yes.
You're
from Ravenholm.
From Ravenholm.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm taking my sash off, it's fine. It's going in the bag, it's fine.
I think Kess probably will have stopped at that, because he's like, not only are you a human, you're a fancy human.
Of the enemy. So you've actually stopped now on the road, yeah?
Yeah, he's like...
God damn it.
AJ!
I knew this would happen.
Is there much more that... Delphin, you're saying that ideally we want to be going to an area of higher learning, some sort of place where there's going to be more folk around that might be.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be this way.
No,
But at the same time, I don't want them to have seen us go this far up this road just to
Turn around and walk away.
in case they send something to check. I don't know, is that...
I will say, Cass, if you could see them at 4 hours away, they could definitely see you at 4 hours away.
Yeah.
Well, if there's a small... How did you describe it? There's a hamlet effectively around these sort of towers, yeah? Then we can stop off the supplies there, ask if we can use the tower to get our bearings. It's just the fact that we are lost at the moment, as far as anyone else cares.
I always be wary of telling them just how lost we are. I don't know how informed the military of this area would be of the goings on in the woods. And some of us are a bit more obvious than others.
If there's anything I've learned from my time on the road, and I'll turn to I'm so sorry for the next words, humans are dumb. I'm going to take a sash out and tie it around my
There's
head.
just like
so
three
it covers my
very
ear
sage
tips.
nods. Like, he has a point.
Literally just going to tie it over my ear tips. Look, I'm a human. That's literally all
I
we're doing.
live 80 years.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
The point is, we don't have to go in announcing who we are and what we are. We can add a little bit of subterfuge to it. All we have to do is basically say we're lost, we're looking for the next big town over, get some directions, get some food on the way, and do what everyone else who passes this thing does.
A map would help if we could get a hold of it. So
That too.
okay, you just kind of like gesture on ahead, I guess. We've got a plan then.
The beginnings of a plan. The rest will come to us as we continue, I imagine.
The Wingmaster 5000. So, you now head on. Cool. You walk for the next 4 hours. Are you approaching the tower in disguise? I don't mean completely, we now look like, I don't know. I'm sure it's never been done before, but Burt Reynolds. Or are you just like bandanaing around the tips of the ears, or are you going all out? Obviously, Harry's removed sash. Is the white one on display? Or have you put the white one in your bag as well?
It's in his sheath, because it's like over his sword kind of thing.
Is it on display?
No.
Cool. And your gold one's away as well, yeah?
Yes.
Cool. Kess, are you doing anything? To disguise ones in any way, shape or form, big or small?
I think he'll try, but he's kind of he'll be a kind of a little bit of a loss. It'll just be like their ears are quite long, so it's like trying to tuck in, and it just like keeps pinging like back out. So shit.
So
and ends up like putting a hood up. It's like.
So you put your hood up to... Cool. For those watching, Dwarf Warrior, thank you very much for the 200 bits. What we do, I should probably get this put on the overlay somewhere. For a single session, you can throw in 200 bits or cheers, whatever it is, and it will give the party a single D20 reroll that they can only use on themselves, not me. and they can have a max of 5 in one session. So that is your first one of the session. You have a party reroll.
Clearly, Dwarf Warrior thinks we're going to need it. And they would not be incorrect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dwarf Warrior. Delphin, are you doing anything disguisey, big or small, etc.?
Not really. I'm just covering the ear tips. Beyond that,
No, well, that's what I needed, as you were covering the ear tips.
Yeah.
Zandria.
Nope.
Did not think so. So, you
Should kind of have our hoods tugged up and over a little bit. At least pretend it's raining.
She's thrown the rope to
hour is
the
just...
She's in nothing but tribal ward and a spear of summer. So,
Neither of those things are accurate.
thank folk for that. So, yeah, you head towards the tower. As it comes closer, you can see that it is a very large structure of archaic times. It is made of a dark stone, built really high. It's the same dark grey stone that you saw in Evendorf, and the structures that were similar there. You get that a lot from this place, that it is an old place and has never seemed to have needed to change. The architecture has stood strong all this time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There is a small hamlet, smattering of buildings around the base of it that are newer but still got a bit of age to them. They're definitely newer than the tower itself. One appears to be a tavern, is probably the best description. It's just somewhere that you could get food, drink, etc. It is not whatever. There is a stables that is quite large, and then there are like 2 long houses off to the side that you assume, and Harry can confirm pretty much, that are bunk houses, and that is one for the civilians, one for the soldiers that are on patrol. As you approach, give me perception checks. This is all as you are coming towards it.
15.
You hear a Ari, what do you get?
19.
Kess?
That is a 17.
Dale?
15.
Zandria?
12.
Cool. 15 and above. You notice that there are soldiers at the top of the tower looking out. They seem to be holding bows, and there is short spear racks along the rim of the top tower. You are so noisy.
Oh, you wanted a drink.
I can't believe you just pinned this on me.
You wanted a drink.
Live on the internet, you know what I mean?
Becky.
I'm just watching for the... don't throw it at me. So you notice that there is a rack of spears, and there are people up there archery, and you can see that they are in leathers, very small amounts of chain. Thank you very much, the love of my life. I love you. They're in light armour, essentially, or armour enough that they can move around rather than tanking it. They have the white sash across there that's pinned on their shoulder and hangs down across the chest out of the way if they were to start flinging arrows left, right and centre. Around the base you see more soldiers with a bit more armour on, leather pauldrons with studs on them and such. Again, these white sashes hang down by their waist, and they're exactly the same as the ones you saw on the creatures in the Feywilds. There are a few folk that are not armoured. They're just walking around. It's pissing down rain. They are just trudging across the muddy area in front of the buildings. Some are carrying sacks to the stables. There are people in and out of the long bunkhouses and into this tavern-esque building. They give no fucks as you approach. What you do notice, Zandria less so until you nudge her and then it's blatantly obvious, is at the doors of the stables and the guard tower there are 6 skeletal creatures that are about 5.5 feet tall. They have a big old dead fur hunchback. The skull is canine. They're stood on 2 legs, 2 hands. Well, they're not stood on 2 legs and 2 hands. They're stood on 2 legs. They have 2 hands. They're humanoid in shape, with a canine skull and this big hairy hunch in the back and the shoulders. And they have spears. They have very little bits of not rotted armour that you have expected to see on the risen dead. Whatever these creatures came about, they've been given armour to wear. And they are guarding the entry to the guard tower and the entry to the stables.
Skeleton werewolves. Cool.
Standard.
What could possibly go wrong?
I don't know, skeletal vampires.
And you enter the area of the patrol tower.
How many guards roughly are there? I'm going to be just sort of like doing...
Your head count gets you to 14. That's including the 6 skeletal. Ari can probably confirm there's likely to be some on the road. And if you hadn't passed them, it means they're probably patrolling the other way, or you were ahead of them.
Fair enough. That's why you have to outrun, boys and girls. I'm going to nudge Ari forward to do the talking.
It's like, yeah, fear.
Oh, he's not
You
so
go,
keen
Hugo,
today. God damn it.
Go talking human, go.
Go talk human.
Talky human, but very local accent.
So as you...
Joining the Northerners.
Yes, are you heading towards the guard tower, stables, bunkhouses, or tavern-esque building? I've got to ask.
Tavern-esque building.
Building, eh?
You head
We all
towards...
know Ari likes a tavern, so he's going to head towards the tavern.
There is no name on this building. It's not like the Queen's Legs or anything like this. You enter... well, you walk into the tavern. It is just a large, spacious building with lots of tables and chairs. There's a lot of benches along tables, like a mess hall. And then on to the left and then to the right is the more individual tables with 4 to 6 seats around them. Stools at this long bar. It's not fancy, but it's well stocked. You can see that it's T-shaped as you're approaching it. The breadth of the T is where you walk in and all these tables and chairs are, and then the length of the T is stores. There's no curtains or anything, and you can see behind this bar where there's a couple of lads and lasses working behind the bar, stacks of barrels and sacks and shelving behind them that is for food and drink, etc.
Okay.
It's not new to you, Harry.
Yeah. Ari will head to the bar. That's usually where useful people will be.
Cool. A rotund chap of middle-aged, completely bald, has got a horribly scruffy beard of salt and pepper, stinks of ale. They look like they've been serving it for the last 4 days without a break. He looks quite cheery, and he's just seems to be washing and moving bits and bobs and cutlery backwards and forwards while the younger folk behind the bar are serving, and he kind of beelines for you as you come towards the bar. Newcomer, what can we get you? And just looks over your shoulder. Are you 3 gone with her? They're him.
I think when we've come in, we'll have just found somewhere to sit.
Okay.
Just kind of ushered Zandria.
So you
Oh, whoa, why are you ushering me?
hands over the ears.
I wonder why.
You get ushered gently, nicely, with your permission, to a table, and you 3 sit at a table. It's busy in here, but it's so spacious, but that it's not everyone's cramped up. There's no dance floor for Griff.
Well, we've not got any birds to do the job,
Oh.
so...
The rotund barman. Newcomer, what can I get you?
Can I get 4 ales, I guess? You're all gonna have ale.
Cool. He bangs the ales on there. You do notice that on a shelving like a notice board behind him, is a map and lots of names and tally marks next to them. But there is a map of Ravenholm next to the tally marks.
Okay.
He passes you the 4 ales. Anything else?
We were looking to see if we could get some lodgings. We've literally just come off the road and we really need to rest.
Yeah, not a problem. You just want the normal 1 night deal.
Yeah.
How many of
We'll
you?
be heading. There's 4 of us.
Cool. That'll be 2 gold. And that'll get you
Get over.
your booze, your meals. There we go. And he gives you 4 leather stamps, and they are a empty red hood. So you have the hood and then the swish of the red cloak, but there's no one in it. It's just the hooded cloak itself on a stamp. Just keep these with you, and when you go into the lodgings, they'll just give you a bed.
Brilliant. That's great. Thank you so much.
No worries. Anything else?
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna have a quick look at the map just to see where we are, see where we're heading to, see what's kind of going on.
Where have you come from?
Oh, just here and there, you know, just travelling.
Oh, nice. Where are you going?
Just travelling through, really.
Alright, cool. Give me a persuasion check.
God damn it.
You should be really good at these.
It's
I
the other,
should.
it's the other
I know,
one
I just
Harry's
rolled an
very good
18.
at.
No, we're good. No, we're good. I forget which character I'm playing. We're good. We're on 22.
Cool. So, he looks at you, looking at the map, and notices you're kind of just looking at the map. Do you need help?
No, I'll be alright.
Alright. Well, if that's all, I'll go serve somebody else. And unless you keep him for anything, he'll go serve somebody else.
That's fine.
Cool. You
Doesn't particularly want to talk too much to somebody that might recognise his local accent. Yeah, he has a good look at the map.
Cool. Do you have a clue where you are, Harry? You do not.
I was going to say,
When you were
I
offered
have a
help,
good
you
inkling.
spurned it away.
I have a good inkling, Ari doesn't. That's great.
Well, unless Mel walks in the tavern.
I know, right?
Give me a intelligence
Is
check.
there not like a "you are here"?
Yeah. They're not like a pin.
There is a massive orange neon light.
Yeah.
What do you get on your intelligence check?
I'm gonna roll it yet.
That is the sigh of someone who did not roll well. That
So
one.
that one.
Wow. It
Into
turns
the
out.
dice drill you go.
The
So,
new dice! The new
as Mel walked into the tavern and knew where they were, Mel turned around and left the tavern and did not
Yep.
help Harry. So you can't work it out.
No. No fucking good.
It's,
He's just gonna take the ale back over.
yeah, cool. You go.
Pretend like he knew where the heck he was.
You do have a team reroll. I mean, I don't know if you want to use it on a map roll, but you go back
I
over.
think worst comes to worst, one of us can be like, "Oh, go have a look at that."
Cool.
The native has no clue where you are.
Beautiful.
Harry sits.
Expected
Harry,
nothing less.
Harry sits with you a lot with ale.
I'm gonna take one of the ales. How'd it go?
I got some lodgings, so we got a bed for the night and food and booze and stuff. What they can provide at least. Yeah, there's a map over there.
Do they sell any?
Maps? I didn't ask.
Why? I thought when we were on the road, we talked about getting. Do you have some gold? I'll see if I can go up and get one. Then we can.
Hands him some gold out of his pouches of gold.
Yeah, because You've
know,
got
you're-
literally all the money in the
gold.
party.
Inadvertent gold holder.
It is the law of this group that the person who is playing the
Least
party,
Thief.
the
Klepto.
no, I was gonna say, you know, the fun person, the one that has all of the fun, is the one who holds all of the items and the money.
Basically, yeah.
Because it
At
was
least the
Serenity in the last one, and it's Ari in this one. There's a theme.
I thought it was just that the Kleptos took it before anyone else had a chance to.
Yeah, I'm
Well, I
with
mean,
that.
also that. that.
So what's the plan,
Um,
kids?
Kess will take his pocket money that he has been given by Ari, and he will go up to the bar, and he'll kind of have a wee look around, and he'll try and kind of flag the guy down and see if he can purchase of a map.
So you wait for the same chap. He notices you waiting. It gets to your turn. He walks over. Afternoon, no comer. Sort of looks you up and down. Give me a deception check.
Give me a second.
Assuming you haven't pulled your hood, you're still trying to hide your ears. If you have, then no need to roll.
Okay. What's my deception?
You're fine.
It's not too bad. It's 16 in total.
Cool. My perception is a nat one. So
Okay.
don't get,
Nothing to see here.
Okay,
Just
buddy.
a human doing human things.
don't get many lizard folk around here, do we? Yeah, so
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to look anywhere like a lizard folk.
yeah, that's so. How can I help you?
We were just passing through and our map got damaged on the journey. I was wondering if you sold any here. We would look to.
Yeah, we've got a few left. A lot of those travelling through, grab them. Gold a pop, like they're quite expensive. Getting the cartographers to get them right.
It's worth its weight. And you'll pass over a gold.
Cool. He passes you a map. You all
Thank
should
you.
have maps. It is very similar, but more worn and less blue.
Thank you. And he'll just kind of like sketch a little head bob and like scoot away.
Cool.
And go and have a little look at the map and see if he can kind of try and work out from knowing like they're kind of in an estuary and like the big sort of part of woods, and they've got kind of the tower, and try and see if like from what he's kind of heard Ari say about them being kind of to the north and kind of like where they've been and stuff. If you
So,
can start trying
Give me
to like,
a survival check with disadvantage. Are you an outlander?
I am indeed.
Give me a straight roll survival.
I think that's going to be quite nice. Yes, that is a dirty 20.
Boom. So you put the map out in front of you. It's not enormous. It is about a bit bigger than A4. You work it out, and if you do, you have your map in front of you, Luke? As in, do you have the Ravenel map?
Have a map in front of me, yes.
Cool. So, do you see the town of Malron and the town of Salsden?
No, because I need to pull it up on a bigger screen. But I will in just a second.
I do. I see where we
I
are.
do.
Cool. You are at the guard tower in between those two.
Fantastic.
Hopefully
okey-dokey.
the people on the stream can see the map in the bottom left hand corner. They are... how do I... They're at the top. They're at the top and a little bit to the left. I'll try and get a better picture for next week.
Well, we
It's
we've
just
come
underneath the
far.
S. There you go. The first S is underneath there.
Oh, yeah,
First S.
underneath Fables.
Fables. And then
Ah,
Fables,
yes,
get to
yes,
S,
yes.
go down the
Yeah, I'm
tower.
with you. I'm with you
yeah,
now. Yeah.
that's where we are.
That's how we're gonna tell where we are from now on.
We don't use A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3. We use Fables.
Fables among Titans.
So yeah, you were at that guard tower, Kess, and you are damn confident that that's where you are.
Jeez, we went right past the city of Ravens.
You will kind of pass this on to the group. I'm about 99% sure that this is the guard tower we're at.
Harry, give me a perception check. Sorry, I should have.
Don't make me roll again.
And Kess, when you both went to the bar, I should have made you roll this actually.
Okay.
Oh, no.
A 5.
Jesus.
21.
Jesus.
Yay!
Kess is on it tonight. Harry, you didn't notice. So, Kess, what you did notice when he passed you the map, behind him, you're not surprised to see these sort of. It's essentially a makeshift calendar of 3 hourglasses that they tip and then make a notch, tip, make a notch, and that's how they keep time. They use them a lot when you're out in the deserts and stuff like this, just to the passing of days.
How much time has passed since?
1 month,
Yeah.
give or take a day.
It's fine. We weren't on a time sensitive
No,
mission.
but my plot was. So you click that, or clock it, no pun intended. You're back at the table, you're sorting your map out.
I don't think that would have fussed him too much. He's like, farewell.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He has a fate in like understanding of the movement of time. It goes sometimes it's long, sometimes it's short but long.
That's cool.
You don't share with the group, okay?
No, like he wouldn't. He'd be like, it's in farewell.
Happens all the time when you guys come in and out of the farewell.
What are you going to do?
Well, we're a lot younger than we probably would be.
So yeah.
Dilfin's just like, meh.
So you know where you are on the map? What are you doing?
Looking to plan where it looks like it would be best to go to next. Did you say, Ari, where the sort of capital for the Red Ladies?
The capital of Ravenholm is the city of Ravens, but the one for the Red Lady would be Marchbrook.
So we want to kind of head back the way we came. Okay. It means we can restock as well in Marlow. And it's on a road because you guys are apparently scared of woods. So it should be a relatively easy journey, hopefully. Does it sound like a plan?
Sounds good to me, brother.
I think you're in charge.
that does get up a little bit of a frown.
I mean, he's not wrong. You are pretty much in charge right now.
You get like a proper stink eye.
What are you giving me that look for?
So I'm gonna call a break because it's 9:30.
Yeah.
And it gives you guys a bit more fast OC talking to get your heads around about where you want to go next. So we're going to take a 10-minute break, guys that are watching, guys and gals, etc. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much. I hope, please stick around and keep watching. We're going to have a 10-minute break, 15 at max, a bit of a bio break, grab a brew. You will see some pictures on a bit of a slideshow of people that sponsor us, contribute art, helped out in the past, helped with Arcane Script, which I did not plug at the beginning, but if you go to Patreon, find Heavyweight Gaming, give us money, we'll give you a 5th edition magazine. It's great, it's amazing, it's the best thing you'll ever read in your life. Yeah, all that. So yeah, we're going to have a quick, just turn up in time for the break. Stick around, Cora, stick around. We'll be back in 10 minutes, alright? It's amazing, it's the best D&D show out there. Matt Mercer wishes he had hair like me. Right, so we're going to... we're going to...
Yeah, bring your wig.
Just because you lot have got long flowing locks, do you know what I mean?
Look, I've got a lovely wig going on. I'll give it you.
Right, so we're going to have a break. See you in a bit.
You want a break now?
Hello, people. Right, we're back. Just before the break, we were playing Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and we're still playing Dungeons & Dragons 5e. How cool is that? So, if you're still with us, thank you. If you've left and you're going to return in a bit, you can't hear me, but thank you. And if you get any new people brought in, brilliant. And I want 2 million people watching me by the end of the night. Niall, get on it. So, this lovely bunch went to a guard tower. They've discovered that they are in the province of the Red Lady. They know where they are on the map. They are currently at the guard tower west of Malran, where they are chilling out for the night as they got there late afternoon. They're going to dry their clothing, get any rations or whatever they so wish, and then start heading back past Malran onto Marchbrook to the head city of the province of the Red Lady. Ooh, yes. I got goosebumps. What was I going to say? I've forgotten, can't be important. So, you're in the tavern. You looked at the map, you've had an ale, it's late afternoon, you've got rooms for the night that have been paid for, or you've got a bunk for the night, not a room for the night. It's been paid for. What's the plan for the rest of the evening, or are you just a case of Dungeon Master, we're off to sleep until you tell us we wake up?
I don't think there's anything that we need to pick up otherwise here. And those dog things give me the heebs. So I think after kind of like sitting and having a plan on the map, I think Kess will be more than happy to. And it's morning.
I mean, chat's saying dance party, but Griff's not here, so we can't.
Unless there's stuff that other people want to do.
Dale's going for a bit of a walk, actually. I'm going to have a walk into the little hamlet. I want to ask some questions.
Cool. So that's what Delphin's going to do with his evening.
I will actually make that as a statement to the table before I go.
Yeah.
Just basically saying, I want to go actually have a word with some people here, see if there's just some things we can find out about the local area and stuff. Can anyone hear, looking around, is anyone looking at the table, listening to us?
No one seems to. No one cares. They're obviously on a road. That's the job of the patrol areas are waypoints. They get it's not heavy traffic of travellers, but they're used to travellers.
I'll lean in a little bit. Does it not seem a little heavily guarded for a hamlet, especially with those things outside?
It's a patrol tower.
Yeah, but I don't know whether it's common practice to have those large unliving creatures outside, but that seems a little overkill.
No, you mention it. Yeah, kind of. I don't like those kind of things anyway.
Just wondering if there's some sort of... I mean, if I just go out there and ask around, see what the general deal is, maybe they'll tell us there's something, maybe there's been Fae in the woods or something. It gives us at least an idea of what we're getting into rather than just doing it blind. Is everyone cool with me going for that wander? I will try not to implicate anyone in anything.
I'll come with you.
Welcome to join me.
I'll come with you.
Welcome to join me. Just do me a favour, keep the hood up. Because if I'm asking these questions, someone goes, it's those dirty Fae, and,
Fine, I will put the hood up if it will appease you.
I will say the hood hasn't been up unless Andrea told me otherwise.
Nope.
No one batted an eyelid. I'm not saying you don't have to put the hood up, but thus far nobody's batted an eyelid.
Thus far.
Then I'll turn to Harry. The bunkhouse, I'm assuming, for where we're crashing.
Mhm.
Do you have a key or something for that?
I've got these tokens. He kind of hands them out to everybody, so everyone's got a token.
They're about the size of a pound coin, and they're leather stamps.
Cool. And then I'll head out the longhouse.
So Delphin and Zandria are off to do a little chinwag around the hamlet. What do Kess and Harry want to do with their evening? This is obviously a multitude of things, or
Barry kind of looks at the bar staff, shakes his head, goes back to drinking.
Jesus.
Put it away, boy!
No, we can't take it anywhere, but we have to take his places twice. The second one's to apologise.
Or remember the name. Kess, you got any plans?
No, he's genuinely just going to enjoy not being rained on, dry out a little bit, have a little scope round the kind of area at large on the map, kind of look like he's kind of making out where might be good stops, etc. I'm not sure if the topography of it is on it, like, okay, we're going to have, that's going to be a harder walk up there, etc. But he'll just kind of be having a good...
You will be going, so from Marlin to Marchbrook, it is a bit of a slog and you go through the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas where you are right now, you're on the outskirts of it.
Yeah.
But the trek from Marlin to Marchbrook, you reckon, is about 5 days, maybe 6 days through the forest. So that's probably the hardest part of the trek. Gradient-wise, the map's not that detailed.
Okay, cool.
So, Dale, Finn and Zandria, you are out and about. You leave the tavern. You walk out into the little hamlet area. There's people, there's guards, there's skeletal things guarding certain areas. What do you do?
Anyone look like they're in charge? Like they're directing traffic?
Give me a perception check.
Alrighty. 18.
18. Over by at the base of the tower, there is a tall chap with darkish hair. Their armour is similar to everyone else around there. They have 2 white sashes hanging from their belt, a long sword at their hip, and a round steel shield on their back. No helm, and the guards at the bottom of the tower, not the unliving canine skeleton things, but a couple of human-looking folks, seem to be talking to that person in response to question. From where you look like, they could possibly be of authority, but there's no glaringly obvious person barking orders or anything like that.
Looks like he's got a sword. Looks like he's a fighter. I'll head that way. I'll just sort of...
You fool! We've all got swords.
Follow my lead on this one.
Cool. So
The Aladdin quotes are strong today.
Yeah.
The theme of this episode, Aladdin.
I mean, there's never had a friend like me. So you walk over to the soldier with the 2 white sashes. He turns, sees you. The 2 in front of him stop talking. As you get closer to him, you come within maybe 10 feet of the canine-looking creatures. Give me a perception check, both of you.
13.
Cool.
11.
Cool. Daelfin, you recognise their features as the skeletons of gnolls. The, bipedal hyena dog creatures that are sometimes seen in the valleys back in the dynasty. They're known throughout the world, to be fair. They live in different areas of the land, adopt the cultures of the land. They've got bits of flesh that are stretched across some of the bones. But yeah, you just noticed that.
Look over at the guy who's potentially in charge. Hi there. New to
Greetings.
town. We thought we'd offer a hand if possible. Don't know much about these particular towers, but if you've got any sort of things coming at you, then I've got a decent blade and time on my hands. Happy to help for the evening.
He looks around the He looks around the hamlet, looks at his guards, and then looks at the skeletal gnolls. Looks at you two. It is not possible for you to help us, but thank you for your offer. Enjoy your evening.
Thorol, you seem quite loaded with. I've never seen one of these either. Sorry if I'm.
He looks back at you.
To going to directly point out the gnoll. Are they from around here? Are they raised from around here? I'm gonna do some sort of minor magical sort of like tricks to show I'm a wizard, not anything massively offensive.
What are you gonna do?
I kind of know bits. I just a little spark between my fingers. Prestidigitation stuff.
Oh, okay. So you're not gonna like whip out a fireball and shoot a pigeon or something?
No.
I just got to check, you know. I do some minor magic. Fireball. So you spot.
I know a bit about. Yeah, I know a bit about some magic. So I'm wondering.
Dalefin.
Around here.
Do blade singers have spell books?
Yes.
Cool. He sees you do your minor tricks, and immediately the guards react. Their hands go to weapons but don't draw them. The gnoll skeletons shift and aim their spears towards you, and he looks at you and says, "Wizard?" questioningly.
I'll bring the spell book round. Wizard.
He just puts his hand down, and the guards relax, and the gnolls go and go back to guard positions.
I assume that there is. You'll have to forgive me. I'll point at the clothing. I'm obviously not from around here. This is all a bit new to me.
You are of the dynasty, yes?
I am.
Why so far from home?
I'm on a pilgrimage. I'm learning, trying to study, trying to expand, and I'll pack the spellbook.
That is good. Always self-educate. Do not rely on others.
That is the. That's why I'm coming asking questions.
The answer is still the same, I'm afraid. I do not need your aid in patrolling the area. And as for the gnolls, they were of around here. We dealt with them, and now they work for us.
That's more than fair. Is that why the excessive guard? 16 people, relatively well armoured. Where he come from, it's very down to 3 or 4 people. To see more than that it's almost like an army to us.
This is a small force that would likely be wiped out if those of the forest attacked in full force. My soldiers here patrol the roads and keep as many as we can safe, and those that wish to get drunk and stumble into the woods from doing so. What you might see as an army, I see as a speed bump to protect those within the province and of the road.
Then I will offer you my thanks and a good night then.
Cool.
I will try and get some sleep.
While you're speaking, Xandria, can you give me a perception check whilst that conversation is happening?
Take what you are. Perception.
Yep.
23.
Boom. Kess, Ari, you still in the tavern?
Yep.
Cool. Xandria, you've walked over to the guard tower with Delphin. He's talking to who appears to be in command of the current area, and you hear the arrival of horses. So you just casually turn, and you look across the hamlet way, and you see entering the tavern 3 people. The first 2 are heavily armoured soldiers, plate, chain. It's not over the top heavy, they're just in very comfortable, maybe half, 3/4 plate armour with chain, and they are either side of a 7-foot coal coloured plate armour wearing full great helm, massive warhammer of black on his back, with arcane glyphs on the hammer, and they walk, and you see them walk into the tavern. Now, over to Kess and Harry.
Hi, my dudes.
Test the bed. Okay.
Kess,
That bullet.
Kess, Fionn, and Harry.
It's been a good run. 10
Let's have a new
episodes,
life.
hasn't it?
You're sat there.
Go, Dilphin.
You're sat there. In walks through the tavern, exactly as I've described, a very familiar 7-foot, coal-coloured, plate-armoured wearing warrior with a great hammer strapped to their back. 2 half, 3/4 plated guards either side with their helms on. You can't see faces of either. They walk up to the bar. Everyone moves. You're not surprised. You guys are sat at your table. They walk up to the bar. They take their helmets off. The 2 guards take their helmets off, and you can see from this angle they have very pale skin and a reddish hue to their lips. You see the 7-foot person drop his great helm on the bar. His head is smooth, his ears are pointed like Dalefin's, not like yours. His skin is a what's the colour?
It's Gabriel in boots. Son of a bitch.
His skin is like an ashen grey. You can see markings, but not many. As he turns and just sort of looks left and right in the room, you can see 2 fangs, and they're like canine fangs protruding from his mouth. And he turns back, and he's just talking to the same barman you bought the map off. But you can't hear what they're talking about. The people reacted very get the fudge out of his way when they first came in. But then as once they're at the bar, it's slowly, people just start going about their business again.
Kess makes eye contact with Ari, and to say his eyes are screaming would probably be an understatement. He'll just kind of be like,
doing the same.
door. I'm gonna try and just casually get up, roll up my map, just be like, oh, just go to belong out the door. Nothing. See here, I've got my cloak on in my hood up. You didn't see me with my cloak on in my hood up. I'm just a human on the road.
Jesus Christ.
Just a woman.
Just oh man. So I'm assuming, Ari, do you follow him up?
Yes.
Can you both?
I was like, no, I'm gonna climb that like a tree.
Can you both give me stealth checks, please?
Yes.
Oh.
As you try to sneak.
Don't all stealth checks. You're a bloody rogue.
Oh, it's
Oh,
okay.
I don't like Kess's face. I don't like Kess's face.
Kess's face is happy. Kess's face is happy.
Are you in heavy armor?
No.
Okay, just checking.
I intentionally
He was
chose a
checking.
fighter who did not wear heavy armor.
Cool. So what's your stealth, Kess?
I got a lovely 22.
I got 21.
Ooh, nice. My God.
Hence the unclench.
Yes.
And we'll be rolling that little dice again. You can go in the good pile.
So the three
What
of
we
them.
then find out is that we needed a 25 to get past this bastard.
A 23. No one reacts. You get up, roll, map, put stuff away, etc., and leave the tavern without anyone stopping you. You see across the way Zandria looking at you, and you see Dalefin in conversation with somebody, and three big
same.
horses tied up outside.
Same screaming eyes. Just screaming eyes, and then just stop.
As soon as Delphin is finished his conversation, I'm just gonna tug his sleeve.
Your conversation finishes, Delphin.
I'll nod to him good night, turn to face Andrew. Shall we? Why do you look less concerned than normal? It's like you're trying to hide the fact you're concerned.
Time to leave.
I will follow without question.
Okay,
Kess
sorry.
has already started like pegging it for the road, like no,
So,
no.
Go for the road.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be laughing about here if he's there. No, sack that.
That noise.
I am level 3, my dude. He will wear me like a sock. No,
You won't let me know.
I am getting God.
well, jeez. I mean, there's another t-shirt.
He will wear me like a sock. What kind of sock?
Fucking hell.
It won't matter. I won't be around to care.
We don't need to go into socks. We can. So you 4 lunatics. What are you doing? Running, hiding, going east,
just
going west?
Walking at a reasonable pace. Like, you know, that kind of, not quite the walk run you try and do if you're trying to cross like the road quickly and someone's like let you out. It's just the like what? As soon as you're kind of like out of the immediate range, like slowing down a little bit, and just being like.
So you get to the road. I'm assuming the rest of you followed.
Yes, Xandria just kind of meanders her way out. She's not making a hurry or anything. She just walks.
Cool. You walk to the road. Xandria don't want to run.
Confused why we're passing the bunkhouse on the way.
You
I
get
just kind of tugged you along.
you get to the road. What now?
Gravy time.
Thank you very much for the subscription, Dance of the Beholder. You can see on a Sunday on this channel from 7:30 till 11.
I'm presuming from Delphin's face you didn't see who just rocked up.
No.
Don't know if you remember, 7 foot tall, big war hammer, tried to beat Kalain, the Lancelord, into the ground with the big hammer.
Yeah, no, I was there. I was there.
Oh, him and his two friends just showed up. I thought it was maybe an idea for us to not be there anymore. Seeing as the last time we all kind of got together, we were trying to kill each other. And he decidedly was coming off an awful lot better on it than we were.
Is it a bad time to be a voice of reason right now? Because he's literally the person we're supposed to be somewhat looking for and will most likely lead us to where we need to be.
Yeah, but I don't want him to see me.
Oh no,
When
I'm
I'm
with you.
doing
But
that.
how does that mean
Cass is like, yeah, I wasn't just gonna walk up to the guy though. Like,
No,
hi,
I'm
my
with
name
you.
is-
But are we tracking him? Are we following? What are we doing about this?
Cass is just like, I don't know.
Through nose out, through mouth.
I panicked a little bit. Not gonna lie.
I mean, I was going to go to the bunkhouse, but you're kind of going up to the road, so...
I didn't want him to I don't know why he would be looking for us, but I didn't want to risk that he was.
I mean, 100%. We were sat in the tavern and I was just like, oh boy.
I would rather
The call was
chances
correct.
with the woods than take my chances with anything.
I mean, he had all of us wailing on him, and Kalain, and Warx.
And he didn't care.
No.
I think he got bored and left.
I remember. Breathe.
Yes,
The point is now, though, now we know he's there to accomplish what you guys set out to do and what we volunteered to help him. We now actually have to follow him.
I'm okay with that entirely.
But if he catches us on the road, it's not going to end any different.
Yes, but if he catches us in the hamlet where...
Oh, no. Correct choice. Leaving, right move. But the impending death's still there.
It's
have
less
a
impending
plan?
death here than it is in the hamlet. We just have to wait it out.
Yeah. Just... Do we want to post a guard? Do we see if he leaves? What are we doing?
Keep an eye on the tavern.
Are you any good at tracking things magically?
Fire off and detect magic
How far is that?
and try and stretch out. 60, I want to say?
I think it's 30.
Like if you knew about, I know some of the people back at
30.
our tribe were able to like, if someone got lost in the sands, they could find something that was on them. It could help track them. I don't know if that's something that you're able to do.
Got an idea. I'll summon my familiar.
You guys are just on the road, yeah?
Swallow from before.
Okay.
Like not just standing like
Clear
at the
off
right in the
the
middle
road.
of the section. Like, just like
We're going to clear it to some place we can hide.
Alright. You find somewhere to hide on the road and you summon your familiar.
If I do this, I'm not going to be able to see. Someone is going to need to guide me if things go weird. And this is going to be a persistent thing. I'll send the familiar out to the top of the bunkhouse, not the bunkhouse, the tavern, and I'll cast detect magic through it instead.
You're gonna put the sparrow to the
On top
tavern
of the tavern,
out
cast-
of
and then
character.
and cast detect magic. Cool. Out of
Does it
character.
radiate necromantic?
Hang on. Out of character. What, Cass?
I don't know if you're just doing this out of your own curiosity, but that wasn't what I was trying to get at.
You were trying to get
I'm doing this out of my own curiosity.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to check we hadn't had another one of those things where Luke had thought he would be really super clear, and
No.
he had.
I got you what you were going for.
I got what you're going for.
I'm basically trying to see if there's anything that I could potentially think of. Basically, something so I can see him to track. Let's try to get like if he radiates magic or not.
When you land your sparrow on top of the hut, or the tavern that is the hut, and you cast detect magic through it, you take a single point of psychic damage as your familiar goes on top of the hut, and the last thing you remember through your detect magic is very strong necromancy.
I will literally reel and fall to the floor. Ow. Oh,
Is that supposed to
kind
happen?
of like haul you back up.
Whilst that's happening, Ari, you hear a familiar voice. Yep. It is one you have not heard for a while.
Oh my god.
And you just hear, Ari,
Oh my god.
what are you
Who's
doing
the
here?
point This time.
Do you turn?
Which ex-lover is it this time?
I
Spin
feel
the
like that would be
wheel!
almost like the look he gets from.
Yeah, just twins are like.
Do you turn?
Turns, yeah.
You turn and you see before you a petite young a petite young lass from a time, a time when you were on the wall, as it were. Her eyes are very piercing. Her hair is very dark. She is, at least, she's very pretty to you. Others have their own opinions to make. She notices you, and you see Elva walking towards you.
Do the Sibs judge him heavily?
You guys you're talking to Delphin.
Oh, sorry, I thought...
This is all in a wonder. This is all in a wonder.
Okay, this is all in a wonder. I thought this
Yeah.
was like, as we...
No.
I was like...
I'm really glad
So-
I remember backstory today.
Delphin hits the deck. You two ask if that's supposed to happen. Harry turns at the sound of his name being called and sees Elva walking towards him.
Kind of smiles and kind of passes it off as like nothing, like, hi, how you doing? This is a bit weird seeing you here.
Yeah, you're concentrating. Okay. Do you want to answer them, Delphin? Do you want to answer Xandria and Kess before Elva answers Harry? They've just asked you if this normally happens.
I'm going to wipe some blood from my nose and go, no. Also, we might need to get out of here.
Fantastic.
So, Elva, she runs right up to Harry. You guys now see a petite young lass, very similar to the locals you've seen, the dark hair, her eyes are very piercing blue, and she just dives on Harry, no care for personal space, and embraces him in a big hug. Can you three give me an insight check?
With pleasure. Natural 20! So that would make my insight 22.
Go.
That is a 16.
Go.
0.
Jeez.
Wow.
-1 to -1 to a natural 1.
Jeez.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
that's 20 now.
Fucking hell. Griff, you look different. Xandria more so, but Kess, you get it as well. You've only been with Harry a short time. In the presence of those showing him affection of any level, there is a absolute ironclad confidence about Harry. There's a couple of cracks in this confidence right now, but that's the only read you get. And Elva sort of backs off, and she's like, "Look at you! Like, how you doing? It's been what you've been up to." And then she sort of looks, realizes you're with three, not you. Are these your friends? Hello, I'm Elva. And she just stands there sheepishly, realizing she's her excitement's kind of taken over, and she steps back and holds herself a bit better. She has a gold sash, very similar to Harry's.
Andrea just looks her up and down. And then looks at Harry. Someone you've slept with?
Elva goes beetroot.
Why am I not surprised? Your conquests seem to be everywhere.
I'm not a conquest.
No? Then what are you?
Somebody you slept with.
Yes, I would still call that a conquest.
Not really, I chased him.
And
If
then I look at
anything-
Harry, and then I look at Harry and I'm like, oh really? Is that so?
I don't know about Delphin, but I'm just watching the tennis at the moment.
Delphin's standing and walking off the road because he remembers that not too far from here there's something that's going to kill us all.
Yeah, no, actually, yeah.
Instant drama. The bad guy will go away. Let's watch this.
Harry kind of looks between Xandria and Elva and is like, yeah, these are my friends. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. Well, I'm gonna go now. As you say that, a memory creeps back on her, and she it's been great, and she gives Harry a softer hug. You take care of yourself, Harry. Just nods at you three, and she walks back towards the little hamlet.
You're the
You're
worst.
just gonna
I knew
get
that
out
was going to
loud.
come on my...
That was awkward look from Kess, Ari, and then he's just gonna like follow on after Taylor. Glad that was you, not me.
And then as that happens, Xandria looks at Harry and just goes, "You really are a little man whore, aren't you?" And then follows after Kess.
Like that.
So what? Look
Shakes
at
his head and
Delphin.
follows on.
Delphin's just not moved. He's just let you all walk off and be like, "This fuck just happened." Where are you lot going?
I cry.
I believe we had a direction.
Very much have a cry.
Where did Delphin shimmy his way off to?
That's what I'm asking. I don't know.
I literally took the first direction I could that was not anywhere near the thing that might have detected me detecting it.
So you're on the road-ish. I know you're hidden away in a little hidey hole, but where are you going? Like what are you doing? I know you're saying you're off in a direction. That doesn't help me at all.
Right. We basically looked over the map. We knew which way was the way.
Yeah, you're pretty sure.
Yeah.
You know
that
where you're
way.
going. So you're going to head east towards Malrun, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. On foot, yeah?
Yep.
Cool.
Do we maybe not want to take the road straight away and maybe let these guys get ahead of us? I'm assuming they'll probably be heading in a similar direction, and I'd rather they didn't chase us down on horseback if we could avoid it.
There we go.
It's your show. I just want to get out of sight for the moment, and then we'll actually move off the road and into the woods if possible.
You move into the woods?
Yeah.
Cool.
Just a couple of trees in, just enough to
That's fine.
obscure from the road.
That's all I need. Carry on. So, Kess, Xandria, Ari, what are you doing? Delphin's just stepped.
I mean, I was going to suggest going down by the estuaries because I know that two of you are super flaky about the woods. But I guess,
Into the woods.
Ari's far too distracted by what's just happened to notice where the hell he's going right now. So
you'll just
go
kind of get a
wherever the
little
heck
bit
you want.
steered.
Yeah.
Into the woods. To Grandma's house.
Into the woods.
Delphin, you feel a hand on your shoulder.
I will come to a stop. And
You-
slowly turn my head.
As quick as it touched your shoulder, it disappears, but the last vision you see was yourself. With a huge scar from top of your forehead across your face to lower jaw. Like, just like as you turn.
I will remain perfectly motionless until everyone else shows up. Slightly in fear.
Are you guys like nipping in to grab Delphin?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Delphin, you're a lovely party up here.
I will fall in line with them. Which way are we going? Just
We'll
I'll leave it to
be
you.
heading towards what's it?
Malin.
The name of it back?
Malrun.
Yeah, Malin. But not kind of making any particular kind of speed towards it, kind of in the hopes that, you know,
That they go ahead of you.
keeping movement, but we're intentionally trying to get these guys to overtake us.
Okay, makes sense. Give me a survival check with advantage as these three help you.
Go.
Then you can be the guide.
Oh boy. thank God for that being an advantage. That is, instead of a 3, that is a 21.
Jesus, that could have gone wrong.
Duality of...
So
yeah.
Kesfion takes lead, you 3 follow. Kesfion is out the trees, back in the trees, out the trees, back in the trees, telling you to hold, judging the time. As you notice, the 3 lead horses of a some sort of entourage coming down the path is led by the 7-foot great helmed warhammer wielding death machine. His 2 guards. The 2 guards, when they took their helmets off, appeared to be female. They had very feminine features, and them 3 are leading the entourage down the road. There is about.
When you say, oh sorry.
Go on.
When you say entourage, like, does it look like military kind of small military parade, or does it look like they are escorting?
Neither. It looks like they are travelling as one. So, the 3 at the front bear the white sashes of the Red Lady, obviously. There are 2 next in line that wear blue, a very watery blue sash. There are 2 that wear gold sashes, similar to Ari. There are 2 that wear red sashes, those that you saw in Ebendorf. There is 2 wearing silver sashes, or without the shine, more grey, which Ari will recognise as the House of the Forged. And there is a single greenish with a tinge of gold running through its sash, which represents those of the House of the Falcon, which reside in the City of Ravens. So your blue is the House of the Lilies, gold, House of the Eagles, red, House of Tor, grey, House of the Forged, green and gold, more green than gold, House of the Falcon. You get all that, Ari?
Mm-hmm.
So the 3 at the front are just leading the way, very similar to how you are with these 3, Kes. There's no military formation.
Yeah, I was just trying to work out if it looked like a delegation that was travelling, or like what.
There's no one seems to be of import in that. No one seems to be being protected. They all seem to have equal footing. They're all travelling together. It just so happens that the 3 wearing the white sashes are leading that group. They're all on horseback.
Okay.
The 2 in the gold sashes. You don't recognise one, Harry. You do recognise the other. She may have spoke to you about 10 minutes ago. And they are heading east. And with your survival skills and the aid of the other 3, they go ahead, and you give them as much time head start as you determine. But obviously tell me how much time you want to give them. So they do overtake you. You successfully let them overtake you. I just need to know by how far you want them to overtake you.
Of hours?
Yeah, like I want that if they stop extra than we do, to not end up like tripping over each other.
It's
not
gravy
quite
time.
like, I don't want like a half, just slightly under like a half day. But I figure with them being on horseback, they'll probably make ground a fair shot faster than us.
They'll probably be triple your speed, your walking speed.
Yeah. So probably say, let them get 3 hours ahead.
If you let them get an hour ahead, and then that will be if they triple. That would end up being 3 hours.
Yeah,
No.
but I think I want them to be more than 3 hours ahead, because we can see the tower from 6 hours.
You could see it, yeah.
Yeah, so I want them to be more than that. Like tower, obviously.
So
big.
how long are you going to wait? 3 hours? In hope that they're 9 hours ahead?
Yes.
Okay. Right, we bank that. You can't change your mind. Cool. So it is now coming up night time. As you spent time in the tavern, you got to the thing in late afternoon anyway. You spent time in the woods and off the woods and in and out, etc., doing your survival to let them finish whatever they were doing in the hamlet, which took about an hour. They then overtook you on horseback. You let them, and you've slowed yourselves almost to a stop, other than the odd moment where you just make sure you're not in the trees too often, and you give yourself a 3-hour thing, and you essentially have a 3 hours break where you hope that that's enough to put them a good long rest ahead of you. But it is now night time. You've got about an hour left before you probably start to feel tired. Maybe 2 hours. Probably about 2 hours before you'd start feeling tired. So you could trek on for a bit more, but you are now trekking through the woods, in and out the woods on the forest at night time.
At this point, get out of the forest and back onto the road.
Cool. You are back on the road.
And then sort of maybe head 45 minutes up further on the road and then try and find somewhere to kind of hunker down for the night.
You do indeed. You find it's actually not far from the lay-by that you were in before. By the time you've walked up there, where you woke up this morning, you are back to that point.
Cool. Take first watch.
Cool. Singles or doubles?
Doesn't bother me.
I'll take first watch as well.
So Dale and Cass.
Wondering how it is.
You doubling up or you singling up?
Doubling up seems sensible.
Cool. Harry, Andrea. Right, Delph and Cass. You're pretty quiet to the way you set up camp. There's still a bit of edge of let's just keep it reined in a little bit. You set up camp. You get your heads down. You have a quick munch. Probably have a quick munch before you get your heads down. It's safer. And then Cass and Dale, you take first watch. You've got a few hours that you'll be on watch. You're taking the start of the night, so it'll be early doors when you wake up. Ari and Zandria. Do you want to talk anything out?
Yeah.
Any idea what the Rainbow Rodeo was about?
He's just gonna blink at you really slowly twice.
Multiple colours of sashes, all moving together as one. You only see that kind of stuff for something really important, I would imagine.
As a human, maybe it's like people coming from the big gathering down in Ebbendorf. I don't know. I'm not really up to speed with why folk would do that. It's not kind of my area. Sorry.
Give me a history check, Cassio.
This is when he finds out it very much is his area. He is a big fan of that specific thing. I doubt it with that roll. History, that is a 6. So
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's not your thing, mate.
they were all wearing different colours.
Yeah.
All colours of noble houses as well. So they're obviously representatives of those noble houses.
The one thing you do put together, Kess, because just with you, the map and stuff, is the colours match the symbols of marked provinces on the map.
Yeah. He kind of relays that to you. But I don't know why they would be travelling all together. don't know.
Just thinking that kind of a group, all led by the ones with the white sashes. If the ones with the white sashes are responsible for raiding the Forest of Copper, maybe that's everyone getting in on it now.
I mean, it's not like we wouldn't suspect it anyway. I know Drea isn't exactly quiet about her dislike of humans, and she can be a little bit vocal about it, but sometimes we've kind of got a reason to be a little bit wary of them. So I can't say it would really surprise me to find out that they were all in on the power grab, to be honest, but
Maybe it's do we have any way of contacting the Copper Forest is where I'm trying to lead this, I guess, because that kind of a party going one end of this country presumably to the other might be something we should warn them about.
yeah. And out of character, it was we could get hold of Kalain, but was at the mountain had to be
That is fullest.
full
Yeah.
at its fullest. He'll kind of check up to the sky and see where they're kind of like. Where does it seem like we are? Is it just on a new moon?
3/4 of the moon. You probably got.
Three-quarters.
You probably got another few nights before it took full.
Okay, I was gonna say 3/4 like good or 3/4.
yeah. Sorry.
3/4 full or 3/4 empty.
Get me the Jaffa cakes.
Totally close. So we kind of have a look up the sky. Like, well, we've probably got a couple of nights before we'll be able to get a hold of Kalain again. But as long as we keep kind of skirting the woods, or can be close enough to get to the woods, then we can get a hold of them.
Fair enough. Sorry, I just was trying to think of anything, because to me, I don't know if I'm right, I don't know if I'm wrong, but that looks like the start of a declaration of war there.
That's kind of what we're worried about. If they manage to get in and take the Copper Forest, then there's the rest of us are not far behind. It's not good news. It's a lot, and I have no idea how we're even supposed to go about this. I'm really good at following orders. I have no idea how to start giving them.
You do it,
And he just
well,
looks
so far.
really out of his depth.
I don't make a point of following people I don't think can lead, and if you haven't noticed, I'm kind of deferring to you, so you're clearly showing you can. Don't think so much about it, and it'll go better. The fact you're panicking, just go with instinct. Go with what you would do normally.
Not come this swords.
Stab.
Stab off the wall.
Repeat until finished. And now you have jam. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
What I found out from the captain wasn't a lot. There are gnolls probably in these woods, so that's probably something to keep an eye out for. The large snout creatures, just raised versions of those. Although he did seem to have a tone about him that suggested that the forest had come alive and eat everyone fairly quickly, so I think he's already on the wariness for... I'll point towards the woods and Caspian. the
Kess
whole
looks
thing.
oddly, like, smugly proud at the idea that there's a human that is scared to go into the woods. Like, yes, you will be scared. Stay in your houses.
Yeah.
Kess will catch you up on the brief glimpse that they saw of when he took his helmet off.
I don't like this city we're heading to from the seams of things. The
Yeah.
more...
Dale, give me a history check
History check.
at the description that Casfion gives you.
What a beautiful description it was. Just
21.
21.
It was a good description, what can I say?
yeah.
Rolled an 18, got +3.
Cool. I'm assuming Casfion goes full description, don't just.
Oh yeah,
whip
no,
out
he
a-
gave more than that.
Power cloak about it. Advanced book out. Sesame Street
Right, but
rolling
what-
in the background. Does not sound, if you were thinking this, you might not be. Does not sound or fit accurately enough vampires, at least those in the Vey dynasty. The teeth being more canine and larger, just doesn't feel vampiric from your knowledge of the schools and texts and stuff you are taught, because you're all taught it in the Vey dynasty about the unliving and demons. Obviously you specialise more demon, but you still are aware of some lore regarding unliving. It does not sound vampiric if you were thinking that.
Possibly more animalistic then, kind of like what the Tors are in Ebendorf, something like that. I will say out loud. But it doesn't sound like a vampire.
I don't know what they were. I'm presuming it's not something I have
Oh,
ever
you
encountered.
definitely heard stories of those with pointy teeth taking the blood.
Oh, like have heard stories
Yeah.
of those with pointy teeth, but like
If-
there's nothing that he's like, yes, it is a lesser sporty
the two female guards or soldiers with him probably fit the description of vampires. The pale skin and, you've got the odd glimpse of sharper, smaller teeth. But it's not a case of, boom, they are vamps, but they fit closer to the description.
Yeah.
Whereas Big Lad just doesn't. He's got big, pointy, sharp teeth, but doesn't fit.
For chomping with.
But doesn't fit the other stereotypes. But yeah, you Cass is fully aware. If anything, the Fae have probably been blamed for a few of the stories. By blamed, I mean responsible, but.
Potato, potato.
So yeah, anything else?
Either way, let's get some rest. Go wake the others up. I'll do a quick perimeter check around, see if I can spot something
Give me
I
a-
like.
Both of you give me perception checks.
No. Woo!
Woo!
16.
16.
30-20.
Nice.
13 and 2.
You both see a couple of small creatures coming out of the undergrowth that look like squirrels that are made of rock. They just look like rock squirrels, going about squirrel business, digging around, trying to find whatever they're finding and then pissing about back into the undergrowth. They're not on the fair side, they're on the other side.
Cass is going to
This
look at
feels
the
really
squirrels,
slowly.
then try and see if, like, it looks like Dalthan's also seeing the squirrels.
I'm just gonna nod slowly.
Are they made of rock?
It's worse than that. I owe Harry an apology.
he does look a little bit affronted.
Shit. What
Yeah,
happens?
they look like rock.
What happens on watch stays on watch.
I mean, have you ever encountered?
Does it look like it's a living petrified squirrel, effectively?
Apart from the fact that it
Like
can
moving
move.
around, like-
Yeah, it moves around
Yeah.
as fast, as fluid as a squirrel. It just looks like it's made of rock rather than flesh and fur. It's a stone squirrel.
At your
ended
regular
so well for the
common
last time.
garden stone squirrel.
You know what? I got spell slots. We're gonna go to sleep. Detect magic. Anything?
Only what's in your party.
So they're natural. That's. I'm just gonna turn and look back. They're not magical.
I mean, magic's natural. You've got certain innate.
Yeah, but if they were something that was heavily steeped in magic, they'd still have an aura of it. This is just either it's
Andrea?
beyond my view.
I'm just saying that just because
Fair point.
it's not in my look, I don't get the magic thing, but it gives you, it pings for you when someone's done magic on it, right?
Yeah.
But if it's just a magic thing, it doesn't.
No, suppose not.
Maybe it's just a magic
gonna-
stone squirrel. I'm waking these guys up and going to bed.
Good plan. I'll go wait.
Just like,
Jesus Christ. Harry
No.
and Zandria. You are woken up for your watch.
putting a foot down on that one.
I'll be the one to wake Harry up and just go, I saw the squirrels. Don't say a fucking word. I'm going to go to bed.
Beautiful.
Alexandria, you're now on watch. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning ish. Dawn will arrive in a few hours, as much as dawn can be in the cloudy, stormy night. Well, it's not stormy, but it's cloudy. Do you want to talk it out, or do you want to get to morning?
Harry is quiet. He is not going to voluntarily talk if Andrea doesn't talk first. So he's more kind of going to sit there and just kind of read like a piece of paper and just be like reading and like reminiscing and kind of being like, wow, what the hell?
Does Andrea speak to Harry?
So Zandria does, but she doesn't look at him because she's too busy keeping watch. She's not actually going to directly look at Harry during this conversation. But as she's watching out, she just goes, so what is your actual ranking in your ancestral home then?
I don't really know how to put it, but you saw the gold sashes. It's a thing. The sash is a thing.
Yes, I'm aware the sashes are a thing. What I was insinuating is, are you of someone of a higher rank? Are you a lord, for example? Or were you a lord, should I say it?
No.
Are you the son of a lord?
Oh.
So, what was your position?
My house is the House of Eagles. It is represented by the gold sash. And we guard the ivory wall. I am related to the first eagle. He is my grandfather. And I haven't seen them for a very long time.
So, your grandfather, who was the first, was he a commander or a general of this wall that you protect?
I just seen the light on your laptop.
Sorry.
I just seen your face light up. I was like, she's
You know
clicked on
when we're
Word doc.
checking stuff because our screens all go blaringly white as we're reading our documents. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, my grandfather is second in command essentially, so I mean he's my grandfather. Like, it's just not something I particularly want to advertise around these parts, that I'm from that house.
Is it because your house happens to be in bad terms with the other houses?
Kind of the opposite. I just don't want to particularly get recognised.
But you could use that recognition to get information. Could you not?
I mean, one of the people certainly recognised me.
Oh yes, that girl. With
Girl.
She seemed awfully happy to see you. You not so much.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
What, did you sleep with her and then move on to the next one?
I don't really want to go into it.
Just answers my question.
And Harry will continue to read his letter.
Cool. Harry, as soon as you're reading your letters, Andrea, give me a perception check. You don't see
Nothing very useful.
the dragon coming towards you.
Do perception 22.
Boom, stone squirrels.
Continues watching. Sandria doesn't generally question a lot of stuff. Unless it is trying to kill her, she ain't interested.
You notice these two squirrels have got two little, like, flick knives? Just like, yeah!
Internally, she's like, yes, my squirrel army.
Yeah.
It rises from the very earth.
So yeah, so you see a couple of stone squirrels, they just do squirrel behaviour type things. The night passes, the sun rises, the rain has finally stopped.
Huzzah.
It is morning, you are all awake.
Sitting quietly eating breakfast, just pondering stone squirrels.
You all
Because they're just staring at Delphin like, are you okay? You look troubled.
S is just going to stray past Ari if stone squirrels are a thing here.
I'm just going to point.
No, they're not. I asked Delphin about it last night. Or the night before.
I told you, you can train squirrels, though. We'll kill you.
I'm turn and look at Zandria for a moment. And then go back to my rations.
Good jerky, good jerky.
So, are you having any more breakfast, Jimwag, or are you setting off?
No, I think it is time to head on up. While we're walking though, Kess will ask Ari if it's common to see like a party from what looks like each of the houses out on promenades basically.
The only time, Harry, that you know of all the houses getting together, because they always send emissaries to one another, because Ravenholm is a good 1,000 miles across, so there's always to keep that information flow. The only time they all get together in a Wunna is usually for decisions regarding Ravenholm as an entirety.
Oh, when he was looking at the cross map, did there seem to be any colours that weren't accounted for?
No.
No. So it wasn't like it looked like they were travelling to the last one or whatever. Cool.
No.
Cool.
Yeah, the only time that they generally all get together is if there's a big decision to be made regarding the whole of Ravenholm.
You don't think they might all be involved on the attack on the Copper Forest, do you?
I bloody hope not.
I
mean-
hope not too, for their sake.
Normally I'm team pointed as yay, but they will outnumber the Copper Forest. It's not a case of yay, the Copper Forest would fall if they all turn on it.
Not if I had anything to say about it.
It also wouldn't just be the Copper Forest.
If they wish to start a war with the Copper Forest, I have been called to protect, to help, and I will go down trying. I'll take out as many of them as I can before I go down.
It's not like I've never encountered the Copper Forest before.
Only in story and Fireside Tale. Never. All right,
Yeah,
I'll
not
shut up.
directly. That's what. Yeah.
I'll
that's
shut
what
up.
you were
I'll get back in my
saying.
box. You carry on role playing. You enjoy yourselves.
Go back to your
It'll be fine.
nuts.
What's that, Becky? I'll just
into your
go
bag.
check on the kid. See you later.
I was kind of like, yeah, I've never really encountered anyone that's really come up this way before. Like, it's a long way from kind of where I'm from, which is to the south and east.
The Copper Forest isn't always necessarily the same forest. They're called forests, but they're not always forests. And he'll kind of like glance to like Drew and be like, "Does that make any sense?"
Well, it makes sense to me, but that's because I know what you're talking about.
I mean, like, my house doesn't necessarily get involved with, like, attacking the Fae. That seems really out of character.
I mean, we can only hope that it's just this one house. I mean, honestly, wish it wasn't the Necromancers, if that was an option. But rather it just be the one house that was out for us as opposed to the entire country. But
So you don't want the whole country to be involved when, yeah, really don't want.
But just when you're saying it's big decisions, then... And these guys seem to be taking the point on it. I mean, it could just be the preference of riding order, but I doubt that whatever they are does anything that they don't want to.
And considering 5 ghosts and 1 guy in the large amount of armor did that much damage, everyone suddenly rallying up to that, it's not going to end well.
The last thing I want is to fight people I know. But to the same token, I don't want them just attacking the forest. That just seems really strange.
Are you wearing your gold stash again, just so I know?
No. He's definitely put it away.
You mentioned before about being part of a house. How much weight does your voice carry?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of gives Andrea a look. Just.
Andrea is just smirking.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
As I explained to Andrea last night, I'm from the House of Eagles, which is the gold sash. Should probably have figured out by now. My grandfather is first eagle, second in command of the wall. His thing. Well, obviously one of them at least recognised me yesterday. I don't think I've been away for a very long time. I don't think my voice would have any kind of sway whatsoever in terms of importance. I'm not important.
What about the ones who we're riding with? Can your voice, and I'll remember the moment of you conversing with the other one, can you convince them that your voice matters?
I'd really rather not have to try. I'd really rather not.
If it was a choice between that and having to possibly fight them.
Or the potential extermination of an entire culture.
You bring up a good point. Harry's really questioning why he got involved in this right now.
Okay, who picked you up and carried you into the woods, my dude?
And then you were in front of the Jesserit and you were like, oh, sure, I know she's gonna kill me. Leave the plant alone.
Kessel just kind of sigh heavily and keep on walking because that's all we can bloody do at the moment.
Yep.
So, are you all heading to Malran? Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
As you head along to Malran, along the road from where you were roughly last time when you came, not far out the forest, you reckon it's a good 3 or 4 days to get to Malran, which is good because it means that those ahead of you, as long as they don't stop for some unknown reason, will be well on their way by the time you get to Malran. We will call the session there because the tension is ridiculous. And it's 11 o'clock. So,
Fables!
my greatest
alone.
greatest encounter ever. So, thank you very much for those that are watching. If you watched from the beginning, I hope you enjoyed yourselves. This week's session was a little bit focused, we'll say. There wasn't a lot of fireballs and Simbaddery jumping over bad guys.
Where's my
and
sash? I want it.
But we got some character plots and stuff dropped out, so that's cool. We got a bit more of the ongoing stuff dropped out, so it's cool to see that the players are going to dive on that and see where that goes. So please stick around. That's session 10. That's 10 sessions, double figures. Well done, kids. Well done. Next week.
I'll level up.
Next week we will carry on with session 11. And we'll see what happens, assuming they don't all die on their way to Malran. Thank you very much to our sponsors, Ruffworx Creative and Ashana. You should have seen their links pop up in the chat So you can go see Ashana on Instagram, and you can go see Ruffworx Creative. Oh, someone turned their camera off. Ah. Jade left the call. Brilliant. You can all
Fired.
see. Absolutely. Right, you can see our lovely faces all over the place. I'm going to sort of dance in here in the alleyway.
Apparently the cat just turned her PC off.
Brilliant.
Oh, no, Zandria, yeah.
Right, see you all next week. Thank you very much. We're going to go now. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. See you next Tuesday. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Bye, players.